Every time he crosses your boundary in some way, he is training you to abandon your heart. This is what happens when you don't speak up for yourself every single time there is any kind of violation, any kind of boundary infraction. Now, that could be something like him getting too physical with you too quickly. It can also be him raising his voice, being irritated at you, and he's penetrating you with that energy that doesn't feel good. It could be him being late consistently. So the more that he does these things where you just tolerate it, you go along with it, you don't say anything, you laugh it off in some way, he's training you to abandon yourself. He is training you to become a doormat. And a woman can often start by saying something, but a man, many men, emasculated men, abusive men, can wear you down over time where you just give in. You just learn to tolerate it. You just learn to accept it, especially once you get into a relationship with him and you really fall in love with him. You just let certain things go that you otherwise would not let go. And the more that you do that, the more that you're going to abandon yourself. And the more that happens, the worse that it's typically going to get. And we're going to talk in this video about why this happens, why women allow it, why men do this, and what you can do about it to prevent this from happening. Because what you need is a man who is not testing your boundaries, not violating your boundaries, but actually creating his own boundaries for himself to protect you and protect your own feelings, your own heart, so that you don't even need to say anything in the first place. Before we get into it, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Zach Rohde. I'm here to lead you into creating the relationship of your dreams using your feminine energy and what I call feminine communication to inspire a man to cherish you. If you've not yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you do that below. Hit the notification bell and be sure to like this video because I'm going to make sure it's a really good one for you. So what a masculine man does when it comes to a woman's boundaries is he doesn't want her to be expressing any of her boundaries. He doesn't want her to be setting any boundaries with him for multiple reasons. Two main reasons. Number one, when you set a boundary with a man, it's actually disrespectful. We're going to be talking about that. Try not to get too triggered by that if you're new to my channel. But number two, he doesn't want you to set boundaries because it means that you're having to protect yourself from him, which means he's already dropped the ball in some kind of way. He's already failed to anticipate what you need, what you're feeling, and overstepped instead of looking at what you need and then not crossing those boundaries in the first place. Now, there's going to be some obvious things like whenever, if he were to yell at you, hopefully a man is going to know that's always inappropriate no matter what. Then there's going to be other things. Let's say he's dating you and he gets too physical too quickly. Well, I mean, that can be a bit more of a gray area because he might just not know, right? Like you might just not have known that you were comfortable yet in some kind of way. And so some mistakes are going to happen. Some things that a man does, though, I mean, he should have the foresight to know that it's way too fast or too inappropriate or whatever. So a masculine man is going to want to set these boundaries for himself to protect your heart, to protect you from getting hurt, to protect you from even needing to step into your masculine in any kind of way and setting a boundary with him. A lot of emasculated men are not going to do that. They don't understand that that is their role, is to protect you, to protect your heart from, first and foremost, from himself, right? It's not just about bears. It's not just about the government. It's not just about bad people that he's protecting you from. He is protecting you from himself. And every masculine man understands this. And that's what allows him or motivates him, inspires him as much as possible to be in integrity with you and only behaving in a way that's going to be protective of you to keep you safe. An emasculated man, depending on the man, because there's many different types of emasculated men out there, some emasculated men are not going to be protective of you in this kind of way, and they're going to be overstepping your boundary over and over again and kind of just steamrolling you on it, like they wearing you down until you just kind of give up and lay down and just take it, whatever that is. And that could be something like really serious, like, I mean, it's always serious. Any boundary infraction is serious, but really serious in the sense of like something physical with you, or it could be less serious where it's like him just being late, but he just continues to do it over and over again. But it's all serious. It's all a problem. None of it is appropriate. It should never be happening. And a man should always be accountable for any time that he is overstepping in any kind of way. So when you tolerate this from a man, what you are basically saying is, it's okay that you continue to do this. And there's various forms of tolerating, right? So what many women will do is at first, like I said earlier, they will say something, but it continues to happen. And then over time, you're just like, what's the point? Nothing is changing anyway, so why continue to do that? So I've done this with my wife, right? I've never done it with any of the really serious stuff that I could clearly see like, no, I should never be doing this. But there were things that I would do. Like there would be important decisions that I would make without even telling her. And that really bothered her. And from my standpoint, it's just like, I got it handled. It's not a big deal. But to her, it was really important. So I would do it over and over again. And then she would bring it up multiple times. And then eventually just kind of give up because I wasn't really changing my behavior. This whole thing that women do of just giving up after a while, after a man has worn her down by continuing to do the same behavior over and over again, that is what more than anything is going to get you into this situation. You need to decide for yourself that you need to decide multiple things. Number one, you're going to speak up for yourself every single time that a man does something that we'll call it like it's violating some boundary. I don't like to speak to women in terms of boundaries because it's kind of it's masculinizing you. Instead, what I focus on is, how is it affecting your heart? How do you feel? So when a man upsets you in some kind of way, he's causing you this anxiety, this anger, this whatever. And yes, it can be because of some kind of boundary violation, but it can be because of other things as well. It's your job to speak up. It's your job to share what's in your heart, and it's your job to share it every single time and not let a man wear you down. Number one. Number two, you need to really decide in yourself that you are willing to leave any kind of relationship, any kind of man, no matter how amazing he is in other ways, no matter how infatuated you are with him, how deeply you are in love with him, if he's not willing to shift his behavior, if he's not willing to put in the effort to shift his behavior and start shifting towards what a masculine man is supposed to do, which is creating this container to protect your heart. It is a container that is protecting your heart from his own unhealthy behavior. So he's looking at himself and seeing, okay, these are the way that I'm hurting my woman. I don't want to do that anymore. I need to shift this behavior. So I'm protecting her from me, from my own immaturity, my own lack of masculine energy and devotion. And that's how he shifts more into devotion over time. That's how he grows. That's how he heals. So you have to decide as a woman, if a man's not willing to put in that effort, I am not sticking around. And there's going to be some things where it's like, maybe the first time he does it, you should consider like leaving. But then there's going to be a lot of smaller things, like I said, with being late, or my example of just not telling my wife about certain things. Like that's not a deal breaker, but it is a problem. It does need to be brought up, and it does need to be brought up repeatedly. And then you're going to see, when you bring it up, is he actually putting in any effort to shift things? It's not going to be perfect. He's going to make lots of mistakes. I still make mistakes to this day, and I've been doing this for a very long time in my marriage. But is he putting in a certain level of effort to be better for you? Because you're probably putting in effort to be better for him. I am assuming if you're watching this video, you obviously care about becoming more feminine, about becoming a better woman for a man so that you can get your needs met. So if you're putting in the effort, then he needs to also be putting in an equal amount of effort in some kind of way. And if he's not, are you willing to leave the relationship or the dating situation if it's not official, if it's not an official relationship? You should be, you need to be, and it doesn't matter how in love you are with him. If you're not willing to be, then what you are communicating is, my boundaries don't matter. My feelings don't matter. My needs don't matter. They don't matter as much as keeping this man. And when you do that, you're going to eventually allow him to wear you down. Because it's like, okay, I'm not leaving the relationship, and it's pointless to continue bringing up my feelings, so I'm just going to stop bringing them up. I'm just going to stop sharing what's going on with me internally, because it's not going to make any difference. So now you've shifted into a learned helplessness kind of behavior pattern, and you're giving him a very unhealthy message about your self-worth, he's then going to unconsciously conform to your lack of self-worth by continuing to do this behavior, maybe even do it more. And depending on how out of integrity this man is, like this is where it can go into like really abusive stuff. I'm not even really talking about really abusive stuff for the sake of this video, but if a man does have that in him to be really abusive, that's where he's going to really go down that path, and it's going to be a really bad time for you. You can end up getting really hurt. So you need to have that willingness to walk away, and you need to actually do it if you notice that a man's behavior is not shifting. Because what's going to happen when you make that decision for yourself, like internally, is like, absolutely, I'm going to walk away from this. And you do when it actually comes down to it, if it ever came down to it. Well, what's going to happen is he is going to feel the difference in your energy. And it's going to translate into a completely different form of your self-worth. And he's going to feel your self-worth in a completely different way. And that's going to inspire him in a completely different way. Because you can feel two things. First, like, oh my God, this woman is so worthy. And if I do not put in the effort to improve myself, I'm not going to be able to get away with it. She's going to walk away from me forever, and I'm going to lose this amazing woman. Sometimes you are going to have to flow away despite that, despite having that in your energy, because the man is just too unhealed. And if so, that's fine, because you're going to end up finding a better one. And other times, it's going to be enough to inspire him into being the best man that he can be for you. But he's only ever going to be inspired into being the best man he can be for you when he can really feel that willingness inside yourself. That's how it works. That's part of this co-creation that you're experiencing with the man or with men. He needs to feel it, which means you need to be willing. There's no two ways about it. This is how you step into your self-worth. And nothing is more important in your self-worth than your boundaries. Where that dividing line is, where it's like, I'm not okay with this. Now, before we wrap things up, this is really important. I do need to talk about boundaries and why setting them is not a good thing to do, why it's going to cause the outcomes that you really don't want in your relationship. But before we do, if you would like my help learning how to make these shifts, I would love to get on a call with you and talk about what's going on in your love life. I'll tell you everything that I see that you're doing and talking about that can be co-creating a reality where you're pushing away a man's devotion. And we'll find out if working together makes sense, where we can give you the shifts that you need to inspire a man to fully cherish you. If you're interested in that, go below this video, open up the description, click on relationshipyourdreams.com and watch the video on that page that I have created for you. So wrapping up, boundaries are masculine. When you set a boundary with a man, you are in your masculine energy and you are actually demotivating him from stepping up. You are treating him like a little boy. That's how his masculine instinct is going to receive that. So all the advice that women have ever been given about setting boundaries with men, it's wrong. It is completely wrong. It is advice that is teaching women to be masculine. There are some times absolutely where you need to set a boundary. You need to push a man off you, for example, like if a man is not listening to you, you have tried to be vulnerable using feminine communication and he is not getting it and he is continuing to violate you in some way, do whatever you need to do. All right? Whatever you need to do. Your safety is the number one concern for me, always. Emotional safety and physical safety. But the vast majority of the time that women are setting boundaries, it's not actually necessary and it's actually causing problems because even if the man submits to your boundary, he's not inspired to do it. He's not stepping up into his masculine. His instinct is not inspired. He is following your lead and the deeper behavior isn't really changing. He's not growing as a man. His behavior might be shifting, at least temporarily, but he's not growing. The only way for him to truly grow, to be inspired to grow, is for you to not set boundaries, for you to have faith in him that he's going to set his own boundaries to keep you safe. And you use feminine communication to share what's coming up for you. You ask for help with your feelings. You share your feelings vulnerably. You let him lead you into understanding what the problems are, why they're happening. And you share without judging him what's going on. That is what's going to inspire him. And if it doesn't, don't just start setting a whole bunch of boundaries. It's like, well, he didn't follow my feminine communication, so there's nothing else I can do. No, there is something else you can do. You can leave him forever and find a man who is willing to set his own boundaries for his behavior, because that is what you need and deserve. Do not settle for anything less. You deserve so much more than having to settle in a relationship with a man where you have to set your own boundaries. Absolutely not. Don't do it.